saw 𝐸𝐸 and I clicked. That was quite literally the deciding factor for me wanting to play Meg's Monster. And let me just tell you, I was not disappointed in the slightest. Bear's Restaurant was my emotional introduction to this developer, followed by the first and only fishing game I've ever truly enjoyed, Fishing Paradiso. Which brings us to today. Meg's Monster at first seems like a story about a young girl who is dumped in a toxic underworld and needs help to escape Undertale. But you very quickly realize that her tears may just bring about the end of the world, so it will be in all of our best interest if she stays in a good mood. After coming to this realization, you'll have a second epiphany. This game is not really about Meg much at all. It's actually about her monster, the one that finds her and attempts to return her to the world above, Roy. Roy is a fearsome creature that in all realms except physical resembles Shrek. When we first meet Roy, he has an incredibly gruff and unapproachable exterior, a severe anger issue, lots of emotional walls in place, and some minimalist interior design choices. He doesn't have much of a backstory other than he really loves to munch on that magic tar that is strewn all about the underworld. Not the healthiest of habits, perhaps, but how bad could it really be? I don't want to spoil the story for you in any way, but I will sum it up with these two sentiments. The end is never really the end, and you're probably going to cry at least twice. Meg's Monster broke me in the best way possible. I love being emotionally beaten by 𝐸𝐸, and I'll do it again too. Gameplay in Meg's Monster is considerably different from Bear's Restaurant and Fishing Paradiso, as there are RPG elements to this title. More often than not, you will be controlling Roy around various scenes. You can roam around one room at a time, inspecting some objects and interacting with the other residents and rejects of the underworld. There is a map of different locations you'll visit where you'll be able to select your next destination. Locations marked with a red exclamation point will advance the story, and locations marked with a green exclamation point are optional but add some additional context and some funny banter, and you probably won't want to miss them anyway. You best believe I clicked on every exclamation point I could just to squeeze every ounce of content out of this title. It's that good. Oh, and I should probably explain the RPG part just a little bit. Every once in a while, someone will foolishly call upon Roy to battle. If you've taken one look at Roy's physique in this footage, you can probably tell that most enemies don't stand a chance. This guy's freaking jacked. What's the challenge then? Well, Meg can't stand the sight of Roy getting hurt. Her emotional well-being goes down with each hit Roy takes. If it gets too low, well, she might start to shed a tear, and you already know what happens then, so you're going to want to keep an eye on that. Instead of having your typical potions and healing, you'll be playing with Meg to calm her down. Different toys have different effects and stat boosts to keep things a little bit interesting. I'll tell you this, if you're looking for a true RPG style experience with lots of challenge and strategy, you won't necessarily find that here. While the fundamental elements are there, as well as some other fun puzzles and surprising takes on standard turn-based combat, the real focus is the story. This is a game that players of most skill levels will be able to complete, and it won't take an incredibly long time to do so. Viewing all of the optional content and earning all the achievements took me a little under 6 hours. This means it doesn't necessarily have what most people traditionally consider to be replay value, but I don't really think that matters. Playing Meg's Monster feels like revisiting a favorite childhood story or movie. You may already know how it ends after playing it through once, but I can see myself wanting to relive the magic again soon. And I think we all need a little bit of magic today. Graphics in Meg's Monster are in the charming pixel art style I've come to know and love from 𝐸𝐸. I know this style isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I think they work perfectly for this type of story and game. There's a certain level of creative liberty granted by these simple graphics that allow you to inject your imagination into the story, while still providing you with a charming visual experience. The game shows you just enough with the adorable character designs and the diverse environments to get the cogs in your your mind turning like a kid again. There's no voice acting in Meg's Monster, but there is a gorgeous piano-centric soundtrack. These songs are incredible. If the soundtrack is available for purchase outside of the game, I highly recommend anyone looking for some chillingly beautiful background music to take a listen, even if the gameplay or the story are not your cup of tea. Each monster also has a distinct text scrolling sound effect that provides a surprising amount of personality, especially when combined with the game's great writing style, so you really don't end up missing the voice acting. Honestly, I think 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐞 knows what they do best, and they've mastered that craft. They create games with fun, but not particularly challenging mechanics, supported by a killer emotional story and topped with a sprinkle of endearing pixel graphics and a cherry-on-top banger of a soundtrack to create a memorable player experience. Meg's Monster follows this format flawlessly. Yeah, it gets a golden genie lamp of approval from me. Short, sweet, and beautiful, a must-play for fans of the other 𝐤𝐤𝐤𝐞 games.